I don't have a problem with anyone performing. You outperform me. It's like sports. I may be the better team, but I just had an off day and you came in and you whipped my ass.
Right.
It happens sometimes. You might have been a great employee, but something happened to where you just got overwhelmed and you got replaced. You're not just going to sit there and cry and moan and be a victim. No, get up and figure out what you can do better going forward. I think that's why I think a lot of guys like sports,
Right.
because we see the back and forth, and sometimes it's the unknown. It's like, man, this is a great team, but you never know. Something could always happen. Something could, the stars can align and this underdog just comes in and just shows out. So
Yeah, that's actually the beautiful thing about where you put the nail on the head right there, dude. Like, like that's exactly why people love watching sports, man. It's kind of like an underdog situation where most regular people in the world, working class people, bro, we feel like the underdogs. We feel like we got hella potential, but we just ain't got opportunities to do it. But really, we're in our own way because we let the pressures of society, give us all of this. I mean, dude, look at the rate of anxiety and depression amongst young men, young people in general, but mostly young men. Now, if you look at your grandpa and all that back then, they didn't suffer with stuff like that. They were very hardworking. They were just different. But if you look at our generation now, nowadays, these young men and women, they are very high in depression and anxiety. Like the pressure of life has literally crushed a lot of us. And I think it had a lot to do with our parents and being an American in general over here where I'm at least can speak for me, is just super spoiled. Like we grew up, we didn't have to really work for much growing up. Our parents just pretty much gave us everything. So our parents' generation kind of dropped the ball as far as raising the next generation. They kind of softened us up a little bit. But they didn't make us work for anything. They didn't make us do chores around the house, stuff like that, to earn an Xbox for Christmas. Like we just kind of whined about it and got what we wanted because they didn't want to deal with it. So that had an effect.
we had to work in the country. I'm from
Right.
Louisiana. We had to work in the country.
Right. I mean, but see, that's why you was able to become a soldier, a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying, bro? And you were able to compete in the market, and you understand what it is out there. You see the difference. Kids that didn't grow up with that having to do that stuff, bro, they just completely different. They plugged into the internet instead of reality, and it messed their perception up, and it's bad out here.
Yeah, that entitlement is real. Yeah, like you say, you feel like you deserve everything that you want. I'm entitled to it. I don't have to work for it. It's the simple fact that I want it. I should get it. Like, what the hell?
Right, the whole cake and eat it too thing. Yeah, dude. I mean, and I understand, bro. Like, I'm not a naive person to know that there's definitely prejudice in the world. If you don't think there is, bro, you're a naive person. Though there's always prejudice everywhere you go, no matter what race, gender you are. There's somebody that's lurking in the shadows there that's just not gonna mess with you off of some kind of physicality.
Yeah.
And but that's part of life. But my whole point is that I like to give encouragement out to young men and young women and just young people in general. Bro, we got to do better though, man. Start competing. You got to get tough mentally. Get tough. You need to shed off all your dead wood, even though human beings are 90% dead wood. So it's gonna hurt, gonna be the most painful thing you ever did. We got to burn off the old shell. We gotta rebirth ourselves and study our grandparents, study history, learn how to work hard, be industrious, compete in the society, move up the chain, and just and establish ourselves in this society we're in, bro. We have to learn to do that and stop whining and getting mopey and acting like the world is out to get us, because it is out to get you. But are you gonna fight back, or you gonna let it eat you? I mean, it is
Exactly.
out to get you. We got to learn that.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned the older generation. My dad, he was single income. Him, my mom, and 6 kids.
Oh man,
Yeah.
shout out to your dad.
And
Mm,
so, he went to work and he did what he had to do. And my mom held down the house. She had little jobs here and there, worked at the bakery and everything like that, just to be social. But that was after we were in school and pretty much self-sufficient. After like 10, 12 years old, you can pretty much take care of yourself for the most part.
right.
And so not complaining was a big part of the older generation's mentality. You got to do what you got to do. You got to grind, you got to work extra time, the overtime and everything like that. Hey, you got to do it. You're not looking for an excuse to get out of something. It's like, all right, somebody's got to do it. I'll volunteer. I'll do it. And now in the entitlement generation, and I think the social media plays a big part in that.
Yes,
I,
sir.
I was having this conversation in a group I'm in on Facebook the other day about people, and I called it, what did I call it? I can't remember what I called it, but it was, basically, you don't really want something until you see somebody else having it already. And then by seeing someone else having it, it becomes enticing to you. And you feel, okay, they have it, now I want it. Just think about commercials. We see commercials all the time showing us new products. Oh, the newest shoe is coming out. The Jordans are coming out. This is coming out. Da, 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 da. You need to have it. I didn't have it. I was doing okay without it. But now I see this commercial. Now I see this person on Instagram, this influencer, and now I have to have it. I gotta go spend my whole check just to get this stupid item that I don't need. And I was saying that in third world countries and in small villages and everything like that, people are happy in their life. They're not complaining about, having to work, not complaining about not having fashion and all this stuff. They're happy. It's only when you're exposed to alternatives and something else that then you start thinking about the greener grass on the other side. And so now in this generation where you have access to the world and access to everyone's life, so you see people on Instagram and on YouTube and everything like that, flashing dollars and new cars and jewelry and everything like that. And so it's like, oh my goodness, I want that. I should have that. This kid is young like me. I should have what they have. Now I'm going to complain about my life. My parents are taking care of me. I have a good home. I'm going to school and everything like that. And even my parents are paying for my college and university, but I'm not happy with that. I want more. And so they're always complaining because they're constantly seeing what everybody else has. The older generation, it's like, I'm not worried about the Joneses, the whole keeping up with the Joneses. I'm not worried about what they have. I congratulate them, but I'm focused on me and mine. And that's what we've gotten away from. Worried about what everybody else has and not focused on our own.
Man, I could have let you go for like 2 damn hours on that, bro. That was awesome, man. You said a lot of key stuff right there, bro. Definitely. It kind of leads me into this kind of like a little bit of a story, bro. I don't know how familiar you are with it. Now, people listening, don't come for me in the comments, man. If I get the person that the story is about mixed up, I believe it was the story of Buddha. I could be wrong, but I believe this was the story of Buddha, where his father, the ruler, whatever, he didn't want his son to be exposed to anything but great stuff. He wanted him to think the world was just a paradise, bro. He didn't want him exposed to anything negative in the world. So as his son was growing, his father would have all the sick people and the impoverished people, everything negative. He'd have it. They had to get out of the palace. They had to go. He wanted to make it all beautiful and positive. And, so as the son grew up, that's all he knew, though. He never seen nothing bad, never seen poverty, sickness, struggle, whatever. He never seen any of that. He thought the world was perfect. But like you was just saying, the older he got, bro, he ended up seeing that there was walls around the palace, and his mind went to wondering. I want to go out. I want to wonder what's on the other side of these walls. So one day, he asked his father, hey, Dad, I want to go outside of the walls. I want to see what's out there. I want to go outside. And his dad was like, no, whatever. But his son was just very persistent about it, though. And the dad thought about it. He was like, well, if I don't take him out there, at least I can control it. But, if I take him out there myself, but I can't if he sneaks off by himself because of his curiosity. So his dad went. There was a little town right outside of the walls there. He went and cleaned it out, bro. I mean, he made all the sick people and poor people, everybody had to go. They made it all paradise again. So he let him out in that. And anyway, so the whole point of that, I'm not gonna get into all the story, bro. I could nerd out, but the whole point of that was like what you were saying, man. Once you see something, like even if you don't see it, dude, but once you get it, once your brain goes to that, humans just have this curiosity like built into them for some reason. So I mean, if you see a wall, eventually your brain's gonna go to, I wonder what's behind that wall. Like just from the seeing it, like it's something in us that just does that, and that's why I think ads are so prevalent on social media nowadays, and why people are paying so much money for ads to be on things, because ads work, because the human brain, man, once it sees something, the curiosity grows, and eventually, no matter how you might not buy it the first, second, third, fourth, 100th time that ad show up, but that 101st time, your curiosity is going to better your brain, and you have to go get the product now. So, and they understand that algorithm. I just wanted to throw that out there, man. I thought that was an interesting point you made. That was cool stuff.
Yeah, I actually heard that story, and it's a great story,
Yes, sir.
And so I think and I called it the exposure revelation desire theory. So when you're exposed to something, you have this revelation that there's something different. Now there's a choice. And then once I have a choice, then I start desiring what I don't have. And that's what we have right now with the commercials and everything like that. As long as we aren't exposed to anything different, then we don't know that there is something different. But as soon as we're exposed to it, then there's a revelation. Oh, there's another option. I don't have to eat chicken every day. I can eat steak. I can eat lobster. All right, now I'm going to start desiring, because like you say, that curiosity. I wonder what it tastes like.
Right.
I wonder how I would feel if I had that Gucci bag. Would I feel as wonderful as this actor on the commercial, on the ad? Will I feel like that? I wonder. Let me go get it and see.